All right, y'all. Today's bill. Hey! Stop playing. Stop playing music. Okay. Today's bill. We're gonna be talking about self-worth, self-worth issues. Venus in the second house. Self-worth issues. Taurus energy. Self-worth issues. Any of that. So like you said growth was uncomfortable.
I said it can be
it
at
can be.
times.
You sure you said you can be, or did you say it was uncomfortable?
I
Because it
said,
sounded
and
like.
sometimes it can be uncomfortable.
Okay, I disagree fully. To tell you why, things grow when they're comfortable. I've had this discussion many times, many times with different people. Things grow when they're comfortable. I'll give it the best example. I love studying plants and I love studying nature. The plants don't grow until the trunk is sturdy. I'm gonna say it again. Every plant you looking at, every tree you looking at, they don't grow until that trunk is sturdy. Even when you observe how plants grow, they'll grow leaves as close to the ground as possible. Unless you got it in a pot and you put a plant in a place to where there's not a lot of wind, it's gonna be leggy if you put it in a place where there's not a lot of wind, because it's already sturdy. But once that plant started swaying back and forth, it opens up a hole at the bottom of the trunk and it has trouble growing. So what you'll notice is that every plant is looking for some kind of stability so that it can grow the way it needs to grow. That's why I've been saying for years, growth is not uncomfortable. Growth comes with a state of comfort. Healing is uncomfortable. Think about it. I say growth versus healing. Healing most certainly is uncomfortable, but growth, you need that to grow. Excuse you. You need that comfort in order to grow. When you're in a moment of instability, hard to grow. You're healing. You're healing. But back to our story earlier, because I'm still gonna relate all this to self-worth. I done met a lot of people out here. I'm actually not gonna call no names right now, but I done met a lot of them motherfuckers that's fake. They try to act one way. They try to use their words to deceive and use deception and they want to be treated better than they treat other people. I met a lot of those out here, and I had to get them out of here. I had to get them out of my field. I had to get them out of my face. I had to get them out of my way, because they had self-worth issues, right? So if I were to look at myself, it's on me.
Okay, I was like, whoa.
If I were to look at myself, I'd say, okay, I had self-worth issues when these people were in the house. I had the self-worth issues. Objectively, looking at my reality, I was the one. Of course, I cleared all of that up and got all of them the fuck out of here. But I was the one with the self-worth issues. I already knew my worth, and it's in a sense, my worth had to be tested, so to speak. I had to challenge myself to see if I was really worth what I was making myself out to be. You know, I know my worth. I value myself very highly, and I always will, because I love the fuck out of me. I love myself for real. Okay, in a transparent way. I love myself transparently, without secrets, without deception, without lying, without being fake, without being obscure. I actually love myself. I love everything about me, and I'm gonna continue to do so. My love for myself is unconditional. My love is not unconditional for someone else. No, it's unconditional for me, but not for someone else. And if I love myself unconditionally, it's easy for me to love someone or something outside of me unconditionally. Thing is, even though we use the word, or I use the word unconditionally, love requires boundaries. That's a condition. Gratitude, all of that. Well, not gratitude, but love in general. Acceptance requires boundaries. If you're struggling with boundaries, or if I'm struggling with boundaries, then that's some kind of condition that I got to pay attention to. It's a boundary. But let me get back on topic, yo. I've met a lot of people. There's a lot of things that have happened around me that I've never spoken about. Like, I know people be wanting the tea. I remember even World News was trying to get in contact with me, because that man's channel, they be going in on people. Like in the words of him, in the words of World News, yeah, some of these people in the comments, man, they brutal. They brutal. All the jokes and shit like that, they be cracking. It be hilarious too. They was they was killed in on cars, dude. But yeah, they be telling all kinds of jokes, and people be wanting the tea, and people know that I know what goes on around here. I know I'm very intimate with people. I'm very intimate. I'm a very intimate person, so like I know a lot of shit about people, and I won't say much until I'm asked or prompted. I really won't say much about it, you know. And I respect highly when others are like that, instead of just being chatty patties or just telling whatever they see and whatever they do, or telling what everybody else does. I don't respect that, you know. I like looking at life as chess. You know, there are certain things that you don't want to go around telling. You want to keep it to yourself. Jeez. You want to keep it to yourself, yeah, huh? Yeah. So that man really did that shit though. He was trying to back to such and such.
Yeah.
He was trying to tell me that he wasn't trying to fuck Kosh. He is non-sexual. And it was a lot of guys that was making passes at Kosh, and they weren't saying nothing about it. But they would think that I would know, and I would know every time. Okay, so that's why when people see me, they usually see me kind of like being alone and being by myself, because though I got like trust issues, Pluto and Scorpio, and it's Pluto square ascendant, motherfuckers be giving me a reason why I shouldn't trust them. So I'm gonna continue to be that. It's a pattern in my life. I'm gonna continue to be that way until they.
And Scorpio makes you not trust people.
100%. Scorpio energy in general. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, because most Pluto's in Scorpio.
Yeah, 100%. We're the same generation. 100%. So what it does is, what you have to do in order to embrace that is, number one, accept the fact that you can't be trusted most of the time, or sometimes. Let's say sometimes you can't be trusted. So you have to be as honest and as transparent as possible, so that you can be like, all right, I need to be able to trust other people. As long as I'm being transparent, and as long as I'm being honest, I'm gonna be able to trust other people. Okay. And I can also trust what they're showing me. So if they're a liar, they're gonna show me that they're a liar, and I should trust that. Like what happened earlier. You see, they should show me, because it's a pattern. It's a pattern on the micro. You know, I remember when I was young, I remember lying a lot when I was young, and I remember the karma of my lies was meeting people that would also be liars. And then eventually I was like, damn, so I'm experiencing this person that's lying because I was the liar. And I knew this shit when I was freaking 19, 20, 21, 22. And I'm sitting there like, damn, okay. Well, let me stop attracting. Let me just be more honest. And then I won't attract all these liars. And that's what started happening. I started being more honest. And I was kind of like a people pleaser. I was in my South Node, which is in Libra. And Libra's a people pleaser. So I stopped giving a fuck about whether people were happy or not about the truth. And I would just tell them. And that's what helped me, just being honest and telling the truth about anything and everything I was experiencing. You know, of course, there were times where I may have fell short in the past, but you know, now I know. All right, in order for me to trust other people, I got to trust myself first, and I got to be the one that's able to be trusted. Mm-hmm. You know, so I met a lot of people here, not everybody, but I met quite a few people here that I knew I couldn't trust because of how they was moving. Not only what they was saying, it was what they was doing. And I would know stuff. I intentionally wouldn't check people. I intentionally wouldn't say much. I would just kind of look at them or side eye and know what was going on and just keep it moving. And some of them would pretend, I don't know what's going on, man. Why are you acting like this? Why are you acting like that? I give them that look right there. The nigga please look. And you know good and well, so you thought, so he or she thought I wasn't going to figure that shit out. That's what they thought. They thought I wasn't going to figure it out. And I figured it out, and my movements changed, and they thought they was going to get treated the same, though they couldn't be trusted. No. See how wide I am? No. That's not how I roll. So yeah. They didn't understand that I wasn't gonna let them just run all over me. One thing I will say about some of the people that have come through here that were assholes and cunts, bitches and fuck boys, fuck girls, pieces of shit. They helped me. They helped me learn how to establish better boundaries for myself. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate all of y'all. Thank you. I'm grateful and thankful. The absolute most highest sense of gratitude goes to y'all because you allowed me to see that I needed to get better at discernment. I needed to get better at developing my tact. I needed to get better at establishing boundaries because y'all motherfuckers didn't respect them. So if y'all didn't respect them, I also lacked self-respect, and I learned to respect myself more and to respect my feelings more by establishing firm, concrete boundaries. That's what I learned about myself. I needed to establish better boundaries for myself. I even realized which characters were just trying to run over my emotions and thinking that they were just gonna have their way. You know, nigga, no. I mean, motherfuckers don't even understand unless they read my chart. Like, hey, you know, I got anger issues. Me, I grew up with them, being an angry guy. So I'm already doing what I can to be patient. Shout out to me having a Taurus moon. I'm doing what I can to be patient at all times. So the trigger thing, I'm real good at it. I'll laugh sometimes. I'll be goofy, and other times I'm just like, let me try to figure out how to calm myself down before I had to get physical, because they really pushing the issue. They really pushing the issue. So let me go ahead and conquer this situation. Because if I encounter it again, I'm gonna know. You know, I'm gonna know. So if I fail and get physical in this moment, I'm just gonna get the same situation again. I'm just gonna get the same situation again. As soon as I get physical, I'm gonna get the same situation. So I learned how to, like, I used to tell people, like, I used to trick myself. I would still have my boundary, but I would have to, like, figure out, like, treat it like a game. What words can I use to calm myself down and to get through to this person who is choosing to communicate the way they're choosing to communicate. Like, one thing I talked about on camera, Adam would be like screaming and shit, yelling. And he screamed at me next to me. And you know I fucking hate that shit. Mm-hmm. So he was standing next to me and he was like, horrible communication. And I'm thinking, this nigga is screaming right next to me. And he ain't thinking that he's not communicating well. But he's screaming right next to me. Okay. But somehow I'm the one that's, okay, all right, whatever. You know, it reminds me of how I've been saying, like, shit, life is real, but it's not real. Like, some of the stuff that I experience, it's so far-fetched. It's just like, this can't be real. Some of the stuff, it just can't be real. It's got to be like a simulation or a video game. Like, it don't even make sense, you know. So yeah, that's just me touching on some of the stuff. Like, I could go in, like I said, I could go in on a lot of stuff that I've seen and experienced. There's plenty of people that I don't fuck with and I'll never fuck with again. Forgiveness or not, I'm not fucking with them because they showed their character. They played their cards. They showed their hand. I seen it, and I'm like, I'm not fucking with that person because I have to have a healthy boundary. I can't fuck with that character because I'd sit there and be triggered over and over and over and over again. I already learned my lesson as soon as they did it the first time. That's what you learn about life. When you got healthy boundaries, as soon as a motherfucker do it one time, you better learn your lesson because they gonna do it again, and they gonna do it to everybody else. So I learned my motherfucking lesson real quick, real motherfucking quick. Okay. Back to the self-worth thing. Well, this all is about self-worth. I said before, you can't want to be treated as an equal with everybody. Not everybody is equal to you. There are people in life that you're more intelligent than. So, would it make sense for you to get treated the same way if you're more intelligent than them? There are people in life that you got more money than. Should you get treated the same way? No, you're different. You're different. If you in a my mom used to tell me, son, you make a certain amount of money. You're not going to be able to hang around people that don't make money the same way you do. I never told you this. I don't think I've ever said this on camera. She said, you're not going to be able to hang around people that don't make as much money as you. Because they're going to be asking a whole lot more than they're giving, number one. Number two, they can't treat you the same way. They can't. Because they don't have what you have. So you got to be around the people that got what you got so you can get treated equally. Make a lot of sense, right? Make a lot of sense. That's what I understand about life. In order to get treated equally, you got to have the similar parameters or similar attributes as the person that you're requiring yourself or wanting yourself or desiring yourself to want to be treated as equally as. If you go into a dojo, I love the analogy. I'm gonna say it again. I don't think I said it on camera before. If you're trying to learn karate or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai kickboxing or trying to be a boxer, if you're going into any of these places expecting to be treated the same way as the master, you want all of them students that's been training longer than you, that's been in it longer than you, to treat you the same way as the sensei, the master. You done lost your damn mind. If you even challenge yourself, even if you challenge anybody in there, even the students that have been training from that master a lot longer than you, if you challenge any of them, you're going to get your ass whooped. You're going to get your ass whooped. You can't be treated as an equal. That's unrealistic. What you do is you give credit where credit is due. That's all you do. If you want more credit, if you want to be treated the same as other people that have put in way more work and way more time and way more effort than you, that's unreasonable. I understand, like you said earlier, wanting to be treated with respect. I think respect is something you're always going to get as long as you're giving it. I think you're always going to get respect wherever you go and whatever you do. You're always going to get it until you stop being respectful for yourself. That's the only way. Because it's an energy. Respect is an energy. You know? But you can't disrespect other people and expect them to give you respect in return. That's foolishness. It's folly. I think I'm using that word right. Folly. It's folly to expect to be treated the same as someone else. Even if it's a person that is highly respected by others, you can't expect others that really don't know you to respect you the same way either. It depends on how you carrying yourself. How are you carrying yourself every day? Are you doing things that are respectful? You know, the self-worth issue, though I can see it in other characters as well, the self-worth issue is about trying to fit in. Like, all right, cool, I'm in a group of people or I'm on a team or whatever, and I'm trying to fit in. So I don't really know my sense of self-worth until I'm working with the group and I'm doing the stuff that the group do. You know, so I'm trying to figure out my worth. Does that make sense? Of course that makes sense. You know, we read earlier that Venus in the second house has self-worth issues. So anytime we see a Taurus in the chart, we're looking at some kind of worthiness. Because Taurus and Scorpio is about finance and possessions and material and things like that. Yeah. Self-worth issues, yo. I don't have self-worth issues. If I did at a certain point, actually, I'm pretty sure I did at a certain point. I didn't value myself as highly as I should have. And I was hurt in the process because I didn't value myself as highly as I should have. So I surrounded myself, or I was around characters that didn't value me as much as I valued myself. So I wound up hurting myself in the process. They really didn't do shit to me. I just hurt myself by allowing them energies to be around me or allowing myself to engage with those energies when I was the one struggling with a sense of self-worth. Though I've always looked at myself highly in general because of what I'm able to do, because of how I treat people, because of what I've accomplished, et cetera, et cetera. Like, because of the value I have to the rest of society, the rest of humanity, what I know, what I practice, I'm always gonna have a high sense of self-worth. Always. You know. What else? What else? What else do I add? 'Cause we've been talking for quite a while. Quite a while. I just know it's unrealistic. Oh, that's what it was. So, one of my friends was upset at another one of my friends because one was saying that they was better than the other one. And I'm like, well, it kind of depends on what it is. Like, I wouldn't say that popularity is something that you can be better at. But I'd say when it comes to skills or talents, yeah, of course there's one person's better than the other. Usually self-worth comes from what a person's skilled at. Like if I didn't have a lot of practical skills, then I probably would have self-worth issues anyway, because when other people would come around with practical skills, I wouldn't be able to compete with them, you know? I'd have to try to learn from them. Dang, I almost got it. I wasn't quick enough. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to learn as much. But that's what I noticed, because I notice it a lot with women. I notice a lot of women struggle with self-worth issues, especially because of the programming of women just need to be in the house, cooking and cleaning and taking care of the children, what is it, barefoot and pregnant and not doing shit. So of course, women get self-worth issues with that. I told you in one of them videos when we were going to, I think we were going to Papa John's that day. I was like, I'm not one of these type of people. I ain't one of these type of dudes that's just gonna intentionally be lazy so you can have a higher sense of self-worth, because I'm self-sufficient. I can clean up after myself. I can do a lot of stuff myself. I like to stay organized. I'm not finna be one of these lazy people. So you got to get in where you fit in. You know, be a support role. Be a support role. But the self-worth issue usually comes from if a person can't fulfill that sense of providing or provision. Like how can I provide to the relationship? How can I provide to the team? How can I provide? How can I do those things? You know, sometimes your best provision is actually the support role. You can provide support, right? Right. You can provide support, and there's a certain way to go about it. There's a respectful way to go about it. There's a disrespectful way to go about it. But everybody always has something to provide, yo. If you're looking to find someone to provide for you, then you're probably gonna encounter issues in every relationship. If you're just looking for somebody to provide for you all the time, you're always gonna encounter issues. As a matter of fact, you're always gonna encounter issues. Being a dependent or codependent instead of interdependent, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna have issues, yo. So what's the moral of the story? You gotta know your worth. You can't expect to basically get off your high horse. Get off your high horse, yo. Know your worth. Know what you're good at. Don't expect people to treat you higher or more highly than you should be treated. And don't be mad if they don't treat you with the same amount of value. I don't want to necessarily say respect. If you value yourself a certain way and they don't value you the same, you can't be mad at them. You know, you can't be mad at them. You got to show and prove. You got to show and prove why you're valuable when you're around people. However you contribute to their lives or to their well-being, you got to show them why you're valuable and what makes you valuable. You know, and it ain't just, your value isn't just, well, I'm popular. They ain't gonna get it. Your value ain't gonna be just, well, I got a lot of money, so I can just do this, I can do that. Okay, that's your value. You're in a position to provide, but okay, what happens when you got a lot of money but you don't treat people right? Where's your value then? You see? Where's your value then? If you're this millionaire, this billionaire, but you got a shitty attitude, where's your value? You see? What else do I want to add to this? Self-worth. People going to treat you, typically people treat you the same way you treat yourself. Yeah. Make sure you're transparent at all times, because if you're using deception and refusing to be transparent, then your worthiness is lowered. You know, you're not going to be able to be a deceptive person and lack transparency and expect people to value you highly. You're not going to be able to play mind games and not take things seriously and expect people to value those practices highly. You can't. I would never value a rich liar over a broke, frank person. I would always value that person who had less money if they were more honest than the person who was rich but lying their ass off. I would always value that person because I know I get the truth. And the truth is more valuable than everything else, especially the objective universal truths. It's way more valuable. So even when it comes to your sense of self-worth or a person's sense of self-worth, you got to figure out what is the most valuable to you. The most valuable thing to me is the truth. Nothing else. That's it. Transparency. Truth, transparent. That's the most valuable thing to me. After that, I'll say service to the community. Service to myself, then service to the community. That's what I value highly. And I think that you're doing yourself an injustice and a disservice by lacking transparency. I think that anyone is. Whether you're going to say, oh, well, I created this lie and it's just a little white lie. Well, how many other things you got in your life? How many other things in your life are you lying about that you're just saying, oh, it's just a white lie? It's a white lie in every circumstance? At what point are you just a lying ass motherfucker? You know? It's just a white lie. What is it?
And why do we put why does one say white lie? Like white lying is better than lying, or black lying, or orange lying, or red lying?
Well, the reason why there's a connotation on the lie is because people will say it's a pure lie. Like, oh, it's innocent. It's an innocent lie. Like, nigga, it's deception. There's nothing innocent about it. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? Yes! That's an oxymoron. Wonderfully articulated right there. It's an oxymoron, a white lie, a pure lie, an innocent lie. It's just an innocent lie. Okay. Yeah. Jumbo shrimp, nigga. Jumbo shrimp, nigga. Fuck out of here. Whack ass shit, man. Now, if you gonna lie to somebody about anything, man, you just don't want to be trusted. You can't trust yourself. You don't want to be trusted. And if you don't want to be trusted, you don't want to be loved either. If you don't want to be loved, you don't love yourself, which means you're not grateful. It's math. You know? You got to be honest at all times. At all times, yo. You got to be transparent. And if you're willing to lie, you're putting yourself in a situation to where the other person cannot accept you how you are. Because you're making them think that you're something that you're not. You understand that one right there?
Yeah,
if
like
you
the whole
go ahead.
catfish stuff.
Yeah, like a catfish. You're not giving a person a chance to accept you how you are if you're lying about who you are. If you're lying about anything. See anything else? What else do I want to add to this shit, yo? This situation motivates me, yo. You need negative energy, and keep in mind, what did I say in the video? The devil usually comes through those who are
Weaker.
weak. So that's how you always gonna know when somebody weak. They're gonna be lying. They're gonna be deceptive. They're not gonna be transparent. Transparency is a strength. The devil coming through them about what? If the devil's coming through somebody about about anything that they don't want to be transparent about, they weak. So now you got the choice to where you want to be around this weaker person and help try to make them stronger, or you only focus on yourself and just eliminate that weakness from you. You remember that show, The Weakest Link?
Oh yeah.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. When you're the weak link, you gotta go. You gotta go. And as long as you lying, you the weak link. As long as you refusing to be transparent, you the weak link. If you creating deception, perpetuating traumas, whatever, you the weak link. So you gotta go. You know, not saying that you can't be stronger. It's just gonna take for you to be honest with yourself. That's what it's gonna take. I just thought about the word disappointed. I'm not even disappointed from what I experienced earlier. I expected it.
Yeah, we talked about expecting it.
Yeah, cause as soon as I got that information from her, I was like, bro, this shit don't feel right. Mm-hmm. It don't feel right. Like, why does it not feel right?
Yeah, you had discernment. You know it wasn't right.
Yeah, someone right about it. Cause I'm like, that's why that person's struggling. When you start looking at how people act, you can understand why they struggling. You know, if you having success and showing success in your life in anything, and you watch somebody else get around you and they attempt the same things, you can look at their behavior and understand why they're struggling. But with that character, that specific woman, I know why she's struggling. Because she be lying. That's why she's struggling. I said to you one day, you know, you went through the most pain in your life, not because of what you did, but because of what you hid.
Yeah.
Not because of what you did, it's because of what you hid.
Yeah.
So not giving yourself that transparency is what fucked you. And not in a good way.
Oh my goodness. A lot of ramifications.
Huh?
A lot of ramifications.
We need to put that word up to ramification. You pull that up, ramification, if the internet work. But yeah, that same person that been practicing deception that we talked to today. I'm not gonna put a name out there because there's a lot of love there and support, it's family. But yeah, you're struggling in life because you're not being honest. You're struggling, you're going back and forth and being indecisive. You're going through all of this shit because of your lack of honesty. You know, your pain and your suffering comes from what you're hiding. It even said in her chart that she may be the person that keeps secrets or has secrets herself. Mm-hmm. You see? What is it? Oh, it's pulled up, come up, yeah, ramification.
Yeah, I might have to go in the kitchen.
I'm getting sleepy already. I drank an energy drink earlier. I'm still getting sleepy. So yeah, like, I love y'all. I love myself specifically. I certainly love myself. Shout out to the mirror. I mean, I am your reflection. You got it?
I surely do. 1670s.
What part of
It's a
speech is?
noun.
Okay, there we go.
A branching out, a structure like or. Ooh, I don't know how to say that word.
You mean how do you say that word?
How do I say that word?
Okay. Ramification, noun, 1670s. A branching out, a structure like or analogous to the branches of a tree. Transferred sense of outgrowth, consequence, in reference to immaterial things. So consequence.
Yeah, consequence.
Now keep in mind, consequence is not necessarily a bad thing. It means with sequence. You know what a sequence is? It's a pattern. See, consequence was the result. Excuse me. What consequences is now late 14th centuries, logical inference or conclusion, the result. Notice it doesn't say, and it says to follow after, because calm and con mean with, and sequi, excuse me, means to follow. In Spanish, it's seguir, which means to follow. But the meaning is that which follows from or grows out of any act or course. So yeah, consequence does not necessarily mean negative. It means what comes after. Anyway, why were we saying that? Ramification.
Yeah, I used that word.
And you were saying it was a
lying about stuff.
Mm-hmm. So when you lie, there's always ramifications about it. In the text, she said something like she's willing to accept the consequences or whatever for it. And I'm like, she's already been getting it. I don't even think she's been thinking that the consequences that she's already been getting it. That's why her life is the way that it is. So think about it. I used to say this in the States. Imagine a person that does fucked up shit but expects the best for themselves. They're stuck in a delusion. I'm like, why do the people that do fucked up shit expect great things to happen to them? Why? They're stuck in a delusion. They're stuck in a hell paradigm. They're stuck thinking that things are going to change, and they're not. So as things keep getting worse, as their health keeps getting worse, as people start dying around them, as all this stuff, as they start losing their grip on everything, they're not thinking, maybe it's the way I'm acting. They don't be thinking about that. Y'all don't be thinking about that. Y'all not thinking, maybe I need to change my attitude. Maybe I need to change my outlook on life. Maybe I need to change how I'm treating people so that my life doesn't look the way that it does. I can't sit here, be deceptive, hurt people, ignore feelings, ignore respect, ignore boundaries, don't respect boundaries, and expect great things to happen to me. That's foolishness. That's folly. Can we pull up folly, please? That's foolishness, yo. And that's what some of y'all are going through, man. Y'all need to realize that people need you to be honest so that they can trust you. And if you on this frequency, like myself, you'll understand the importance of trust. But if you're just willing to lie, especially if you call this, oh wow, now that's perfect.
That's why my eyes got big.
That's
too.
perfect. Folly. Hold on, let me finish what I was saying. As a reflection, right? There's a sense of accountability. So if you're a person, male or female, that's going to be a liar, you're not being a really good reflection to everybody else on the frequency. You're not being a good reflection to yourself either. Now I'm going to read this word folly, right? Folly is a noun, early 13th century, and it says mental weakness, foolish behavior or character, unwise conduct. In Middle English, including wickedness, lewdness, madness, from Old French folie, which means folly, madness, and stupidity, from fall, see, fool. From circa 1300, as an example of foolishness, the sense of costly structure considered to have shown folly in the builder is attested from the 1650s. So when we're saying folly, we're talking about fools and mental weakness. And guess what? Where there's folly, the devil's right there. So it's coming full circle. So you can't expect to have a high sense of self-worth or be treated equally to people who are not practicing folly. You can't. You can't be mentally weak and expect to be treated the same as somebody who's mentally strong. You actually need to be a student of that person. You need to be a student of somebody who's more mentally stronger. You need to be a student of somebody who's not just easily tempted by being a devil or being wicked. You got to be willing to be a student so that you can get to that level you want to be. You got to do things in order to gain the respect so that you can be respected as much as you want to be respected. Respect isn't given, is what? Earned. Okay. So you got to earn respect. You got to earn the opportunity to be looked at again or in a different light. Read means again, and spect means to look or to view. Respect. Pull it up if you need to. Like your spectacles or an inspection or a specter or an inspector or what else? Speculate. All of that means to look and to view. All of it. Re means again. And also means again. ER.
So respect is look again.
Yep. So if you see things one way and no other way, you don't respect it. You can't. If it's only one way. If you're a person that goes, it's my way or the highway, you're disrespectful.
Yeah. For sure.
Every time. Every time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
If you only want what you want and nobody else's shit matters, be disrespectful. Because you're not able to see things from another perspective. That's another word too, a perspective. Per meaning each, if I'm correct. So per would mean each, spec means to view or to look, to see. And then if, which would be an action suffix, which means the action of each view. So perspective, if I'm correct on that, breaking that word down like that. But like active. So yeah, yo. What else? What else is in here? We can put all kinds of knowledge and wisdom and information in here. It's all about self-worth. It's all about self-worth. That's the topic of discussion today. Self-worth. If you got a high sense of self-worth, you're gonna have healthy boundaries, not unhealthy ones, healthy boundaries. 2, if you got a high sense of self-worth, you're going to be transparent, because if you're a liar, you're not as valuable. Your lies, you're going to entangle somebody in a web of lies, you're not as valuable. If you're deceitful and you think that that deceit isn't lying, you're not as valuable. You're not as valuable to people. You're not as valuable to yourself. And it's an energy that can be felt. Whether you're speaking or not, your energy can be felt anywhere and everywhere you go. See?
So deceit is keeping information.
Pull it up. Pull it up. See, we got the dictionary ready. See, this is easier now. I got 2 phones. Anyway, it's easier now.
One for the record, one for the
one for the word, one for the research. Yep, the research. Re means what? Again.
Again.
So I'm search it again. Let me search it again. Research. From a searcher, I'm still searching again.
Mislead by false.
Whoa. You're going too fast. What part of speech, the year, all of that. We do that first every time.
This is a verb.
What word is it?
Deceive.
Deceive.
Verb. 13th century.
13th century.
Mislead by false appearance or statement.
Mislead by false appearance or statement. So when you do that, and I've experienced it before and others, your value, your sense of self-worth is lowered. Lowered. What else does it say?
From Old French, deceiver.
Deceiver.
To deceive. 12th century modern French.
Let me see.
It's saying it in French. I need a hear.
You all right? You all right? You can skip over that and just read the English part.
Okay.
It says deceive, verb, mislead by false appearance or statement. What is it? What is an appearance, y'all? It's the way something looks. It says to ensnare, to take in, to beguile, to cheat. See all of that deception. See that? Notice it says for to cheat and deceive. All right. So let's see. We can pull up appearance. It says give a false appearance, to make false an appearance, right? To mislead by false appearance or statement. So that means even using words to deceive, right? Appearance is a noun, late 14th century, visible state or form, figure, mere, show, appearances, display, pump, to come in sight, to make an appearance, to be evident, to be seen in public, to show oneself. You see? So the word I want to relate to this is the word lie. Okay? Lie. It says lie is a verb, to speak falsely, to tell an untruth for the purpose of misleading. Notice it, mislead and deceive, same thing. Mm-hmm. Then it says deceive, be lie. And notice, I want you to see something, right? When people ask me if I believe, I be like, no. Either I know it or I don't know. What is this word right here? Be lie.
Lie.
If I put a V and an E on the end of that word, what word is it?
Believe.
That's why I don't believe shit. I either know or I don't know. Because to be lie is to actually deceive.
Yeah. Sometimes when you're talking to people, even I've done this, like, if I don't know, sometimes I'll be like, oh, well, I believe this. Like, no, do you know it or do you not know it?
Because if you believe, you had a false impression of it.
Yeah,
and you
because
deceive
the opposite of belief is true.
Correct.
Or truth.
Correct. It says right here, be lie, betray, deceive. All that is lie. Misleading, lie, all of it. I had a female tell me one time, I didn't lie to you, I just didn't tell you.
Which is deceiving.
Still deceiving.
And
I made sure to pull that shit up like, all right, so you're being deceptive, but you're saying you didn't lie, and you intentionally use your words to lie. And I purposely asked specific questions that you couldn't lie to, so I was always going to get the answer. You're going to tell on yourself. So, all right, but she ain't lie somehow, some way. Because in her mind, as long as she didn't tell the truth, she didn't lie. As long as she held the truth, she didn't lie. And I'm like, that's not how that shit work, yo. Like, you're using deception, you're still lying. Like, when I asked old Kaj about them beans, that shit is so stupid. It's so stupid. It's folly. But I'm like, why would you lie and say that everybody gobbled up the beans when you just threw them out? She said, well, I didn't want you to know. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. You know? It's folly.
Did you bring up the beans? And that's not even, that
go
doesn't
ahead.
mean anything.
Yeah, it does.
I'm just asking.
It does.
Like, did you make it a point to, like, oh, did y'all like it? Or did she come to you and like, hey, you remember those beans? And everybody just gobbled them up.
Yeah, I said something about the beans the next day because she knew how I felt. It was right after Hurricane Fiona. And I was like, man, these are the greatest beans I've ever made in my life, yo. They taste so good, and I can't even hold on to them because we ain't got no electricity, yo.
Yeah.
So maybe in her mind, she thought, well, I didn't want to disappoint him and say that we threw it out because the refrigerator didn't work.
Yeah, but
I would rather told the truth.
Rather for, unfortunately, we had to throw them out nonetheless because our stuff wasn't working.
Yeah, that's so simple. That's so simple. It's so simple. But think, if a person easily lying, they already weak anyway. They already practicing folly. They already a devil anyway because they lie so easily. It's easy to tell the truth. Excuse me. It's easy to lie. It's harder to tell the truth. So if you just start practicing being honest and telling the truth, then you're gonna be fine. That's where your mental strength comes in. That's where your emotional maturity comes in, is when you're telling the truth and you're being honest and you're not being deceptive. All of this stuff, all the lying and all the deceit, it fucks up your self-worth. Lie is a noun, an untruth, conscious and intentional falsehood. A false statement made with the intent to deceive. Notice that this word deception is in there. Because that word is a really big term on this frequency. Really big term. Deception. Because it's misleading. So you have to be honest. And with the word with the word lie, you got deceive, be lie, B-E-L-I-E, which is the first 5 letters of belief. And then you have betray. All of those are in there. What does it say for believe? The internet works in this spot too sometimes, by the way. But all of this is self-worth, yo. You need a higher sense of self-worth. You need somebody to teach you. I show you and teach you real quick, because I'm going to be doing the practices. Be in the mirror doing, because you need it. I be saying all kinds of stuff. People be surprised. I was talking about the whole granny thing. Yeah, gum me up. I was talking about all of that. Y'all be laughing and giggling. I'm like, shit, that's how I feel. Shit, I'm not finna lie about it. That's what it is. That's what it is, yo.
Go over here. You trying to still use it?
Mm-hmm. Cause I was gonna pull up believe. That's a word that popped up way back in 2013, 2014. And we were studying language, as usual, because that's what I do. And the word believe came up, or belie came up, and I pulled it up in the dictionary. I even put it on my old Instagram page. Belie, to make it said to have a false impression of, or to make a false impression of, some shit like that. To belie.
There it is.
There we go. So I need to pull that up. So we got believe. Let me start out with belie. Belie.
Stuff my dad is texting me, it's like, I feel myself being triggered.
What?
Yeah, stuff my dad's texting me.
What is he texting you?
Like, okay, first let me just give the context. Right?
Wait. You know what? Hold on. I apologize.
Yeah.
Let me. No, the camera part is fine. The part is fine. But I want to start out with this. Belie, verb. Tell a lie about. Accuse falsely. Slander. To falsely accuse somebody is still lying. See that? To accuse falsely, to slander. To deceive by lies. To lie. To tell lies. The sense of to contradict as a lie, to give the lie to show to be false, is attested by the 1640s. That's belie, the first 5 letters of believe. So let's pull up this word believe. Believe. All right. We're going to pull up all of this. That's why it's important to study words. And notice it says make believe. Let me start out with that. Make believe, noun, pretense, false or fanciful representation. Okay, fanciful. So believe, it says to have faith or confidence in a person earlier, etc., etc. To believe, perhaps literally to hold dear, to love, ultimately a compound word, to care, to desire, to love, see, belief. The meaning, be persuaded of the truth of, i.e. a doctrine, a system, a religion, etc. is from mid-13th century. And notice it says be persuaded of the truth. It don't mean it's the truth. It says to be persuaded of it. Credit, it says the meaning credit upon the grounds of authority or testimony without complete demonstration, except as true, is from 14th century. So yeah, that's the word believe, belie. What else? How do I go back again? Oh, I gotta swipe this way. Believe, make believe. To disbelieve is to not to believe or credit, reject the truth or reality of, which is interesting. A miscreant is a miscreant. I remember that word. A non-Christian, a misbelieving pagan infidel. I remember that word. A heathen, a Saracen, a pagan, an unbeliever, usually a non-Christian, a miscreant. I remember that shit. Alright. So yeah, moral of the story. Be honest at all times, yo. Regardless of if you quote unquote lying as a joke. Like, if you're gonna lie about something small, you certainly gonna lie about something big. That's the fact of the matter. You know? So if you want to be around liars, just expect to get lied to. If you want to be around people that's dishonest, expect it. No matter how small or big, ain't no such thing as a white lie, yo. Ain't no such thing as a white lie. Because once you lie to somebody, how are they going to know or be able to trust you? How are they going to know? How are they going to know when you telling them the truth or when you lying? I actually dated somebody. I actually dated somebody who would lie a lot. And it bothered me at the time with her because I wouldn't know when she was telling the truth. So when it comes to like being serious, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know when she was being serious and when she was being silly. I didn't know what she was serious about because there's no way for me to tell. There was no foundation. You see. So yeah. For the record, yo, be honest and transparent at all times, yo. And I love myself.